Let's do the news. In our first story, government is working to ensure that contractors engage locals to execute contracts given them in their respective project sites. The aim of this initiative is to build local capacity of pro-poor communities and also provide alternative livelihoods for such people, as well as develop these deprived districts across Ghana under the country's Productive Safety Network project. The World Bank funded project is being executed by the Ministries of Local Government and Rural Development, as well as Gender, Children and Social Protection. Maxwell Kudako has more in this report.
Training some contractors on how to bid for these projects and minimize costs in executing projects in rural Ghana. The Ghana Productivity Network also seeks to contribute towards government efforts at improving the livelihood of extremely poor and poor households to better access services that promote their productivity and improve their access to jobs. It has 5 components, namely productive inclusion, labor-intensive public works, LEAP cash grant, social protection system strengthening, and project management coordination in capacity building. Contractors are expected to solely use manpower and avoid huge machines that is capital intensive, leading to increase in overhead costs. Projects to be executed will be on small dams and dugouts, feeder roads, and climate change mitigation projects. Under the Ghana Productive Safety Network project, 60% of project costs must be spent in beneficiary communities. Engineer George Osei Abebu is the national coordinator of the project.
107 sub-projects plus others more. So what we are doing is that we realize it's not the realization, it is just this project is unique in the sense that it's a social protection intervention, and it is not like other capital intensive projects. The execution is different from others. We are concentrating on what labor will get. Generally, we expect every investment that we put in the community, about 60% will remain in the community. We are pricing. It may be different from what we have been doing. So we normally invite contractors, their QS, who have been pricing for them to come.
Now back here in Accra, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, is calling for the politicization of Ghana's constitutional review process. The body believes that this is the best step toward ensuring progress in the works of the Constitutional Review Commission set up in January 2010. An estimated $6.3 million was invested in the review exercise. There's more about that in PSA Nanaya Osafo's report, read to you.
The Constitutional Review Commission was given the mandate to consult Ghanaians on changes they wish to see in the state's constitution. Although government issued a white paper accepting 90% of recommendations, the only recommendation which has seen some action is the election of MMDCs. This leaves over 98 supposedly unattended to since 2014. Executive Director for CDD, Professor Henry Kwesi Prempe, believes politicization may be the best way to move things forward.
We should politicize constitutional review and constitutional reform. And by this I mean, in a bipartisan way, we should get parties to make explicit commitments, manifesto commitments about specific proposals. We should mobilize as citizens, agitate as citizens, and force parties to make clear commitments. Now we know that it is an inherently political process. We can't run away from it. There's nothing wrong, actually, with it being that way. That's the way it is everywhere else. So we should also think politically about this and try to get parties to make explicit commitments in this area.
The speakers, drawn from civil society groups and academia, called on Ghanaians to put pressure on authorities to implement the recommendations of the commission. Legal practitioner and broadcaster Samson Ladi Ayenini said Ghanaians are not angry enough.
It is easy to move forward with this process, but if it won't be done, I believe that a groundswell of citizen movement, citizen opinion in a formidable pressure to make the government understand, to make Parliament understand that we will not allow for our money, over $6 million, to go waste. We can demand and have it. it is because we are quiet and we are not as active or as angry enough. This will go waste, and the next time another project will be conducted and it will continue to gather waste.
Participants agree there was the need for continuous dialogue to strengthen democracy. PSC and Nana Safo's report for JoyNews.
And while this event was going on, the minority in parliament were busy. They've been alleging that government is secretly recruiting party members into the Ghana Police Service, the prisons, as well as the immigration services. They claim these institutions have not issued any advertisements for any recruitment exercise. Yet, some selected members of the MPP have gone through medical screening. The minority is also demanding the immediate cancellation of the ongoing secret recruitment by the party.
Several qualified applicants who had been shortlisted and were only waiting to be invited for medical screening have been denied the opportunity to serve their country. Only those connected to the MPP government in one way or the other were selected and trained. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, just as the recruitment of personnel into the police service in 2018 was characterized by outright nepotism and procedural breaches, the recruitment exercise, which is currently ongoing, is to say the least fraudulent. In 2019, there has been no advertisement whatsoever for recruitment into the police service. Consequently, no applications have been received or processed in the e-recruitment portal of the police service, which can be accessed online. And yet, certain individuals have been invited and are being taken through medical screening for purposes of getting them recruited. The story is not any different with the prisons and immigration services. Both services, like the police, have not advertised for recruitment in 2019. In the particular case of the immigration service, we are reliably informed that they have secretly invited mainly cronies of the MPP and taken them through screening and medical examination at the police.
The Vice Chair of the Defense and Interior Committee, Collins Owusu-Amankwa, however, denies these allegations and has also challenged the minority to back their claims with evidence.
Government is not conniving with the security agencies in terms of recruitment. It is palpable force. And I'm surprised that these claims are coming from a whole ranking member on our committee, which is mandated to, as it were, examine issues relating to defense and security in general.
No, they've made their checks at the security agencies, and that is what they got.
It's not true. They claim that their intelligence, intelligence that they picked from the security agencies, and I don't want to believe that it's authentic. It's not true. So I am surprised. And whose interest does it say that a government would compromise the security of our people? I mean, it beats my imagination in the first place.
Is there any recruitment going on, sir?
Yes, and as usual. I mean, these are normal recruitments every year. We all witness.
So you are aware that there is recruitment on
well, to the best of my knowledge, it was publicized. There was publication to that effect. It was well advertised that we are recruiting into respective security agencies, be it Ghana Police Service, which is the principal, law enforcement agency in this country.
Right, now flags are generally used as symbols, signaling devices, or for decoration. Associations and countries have various reasons for settling on one type of flag or the other. A regular scene at Ghana's coasts would be canoes having various flags flying high. Joseph Akable spent some time at the Tema fishing harbour, where an argument ensued among fishermen on why they sail with certain flags.
The Manchester United, South Africa, Chelsea, United States of America, and of course, the red, gold, green with black star flags are sights to behold at many beaches across coastal Ghana. They don't signify existence of embassies of these powerful nations and football teams. In fact, they do not reflect the nationalities of the canoe owners, but simply a fishing culture that has existed for many years. While fishermen at the Tema Fishing Harbour mended their nets, I asked why they have their flags on their canoes. That stoked a heated argument. Two fishermen will be selected to officially speak on behalf of their colleagues.
At that time, there were no flags. If you see anything above a canoe, it's just a sail.
62-year-old Ni Agbo, who has been fishing since the late 1960s, presented his case.
What I know is that in the past, it was used to signal other fishermen that someone had a problem. It could be that his equipment is damaged. Sometimes we go far and we can't see land, so it's difficult. These days, they just choose any flag they like. Sometimes the team they support.
Radiseth, who has been a friend of the sea for well over 40 years, disagrees.
The big ships identify the canoes by their flags. The flags are not for beautification, but for identification.
For life. I'm at 200 meters.
For those who go to the deep sea, without the flags, the ships will crash with the canoes, thereby resulting in accidents.
This story sought to know why fishermen hoisted various flags in their canoes, but it's obvious that the reasons are varied and lacking consensus. The debate will obviously continue here at the Tema Fishing Harbour, but the flags remain high above the canoes. Joseph Akable for JoyNews.
Well, how do you make sure you get the votes of the electorate? Let me tell you this. One house, one biogas toilet, free canopies and chairs for every ceremony and jobs that will pay employees at least 20 Ghana cedis a day. And these are some of the campaign promises of aspiring assembly member for the Edukrom Nima electoral area in the Ashanti region. And that person contesting that very position is Ibrahim Isa Adabo, popularly known in the area as Honorable Aponche. Well, he says his aim is to represent his people well and set the precedents for others to also follow. Honorable Aponche has been speaking to JoyNews' Mahmoud Mohamed. You enjoy this.
Honorable Aponche, beto amawo. Honorable Aponche, no one challenger. Everything when in mweti obiara ni o. Semre no so wa ebedi o muso kuni.
When I'm camp power, I'll make sure that every house will get one biogas toilet, which is flashy and ashi. You see, so I'll provide every one house one toilet for garibas. Me, when I'm camp power, I'll go and lobby to get some work for them so that I'll provide some factory there, which is every day I'll pay them 20 cedis for salary so far as I'll get some achievement or some achievement for that work. We have somebody, when he walk on the streets, he can drink water, he can drink yogurt, even he can sit on the street and chop his food. When he finish, where he can throw the baller. We didn't find any Dasby that he will throw the baller. So I'll promise that I'll promise that every junction one Dasby.
Your opponents, those who are actually contesting with you, are saying you cannot, there is no way you can achieve all of this, and that you are only deceiving the public.
It's a propaganda. They are doing propaganda. If you are in party, you can never come and stand to be an assemblyman, because Constitution Article 20, centralization, local government and rural development, has said that nobody should, on your poster, you can't take any party color on it, or you can't take any party symbol on it. Even if you are in party, you cannot come and stand to be an assemblyman. When we sit in vetting, I'll express myself to tell the electorate that they should disqualify the two of them, because they are in partisan. So far as a constitution has said that if you are a party, you can never come and stand. So forget about what they are saying. It's a propaganda.
How sure are you that you're going to win this election?
Wow, of course, because this constituency, everybody like me. Old man, old woman, children, boys and girls, ladies, boys, you all individual in this area love me. They love me. They are like me to be an assemblyman. When they pass or when I'm on the street going to my place, they can scream and call me, Akuya, Allah Jazamanin Akuya, you go win, Akuya, inshallah, this election you will win. So that will show me that I'm gonna win.
Finally, let's talk about are you married?
No.
Why?
You know, married is God time. Yeah. So if God will, inshallah, I'll marry. I don't know, even tomorrow or next week or next month, God will tell, inshallah.
Have you found any?
You know, in politics, they didn't ask about like you marry or you don't marry at the community or at the assembly, because we have some parliament candidates in Akutia who took Baba Jamal. She's hairdressing. She didn't marry, but she's in parliament.
How many children do you want to born?
5. Yeah. Because you know Muslim, we marry 4. I'll make sure that I marry 4. So all of them will born 5 for me.
Well, that's it. As a wrap-up for the news, but talk about how to trend, and he's trending currently, and the best avenue and platform for you to trend is on social media. We have various platforms there. JoyNews on TV is always available on Facebook. We also have it as a Twitter handle. Make sure you touch base with us. Give us more of your comments. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll look at the news review next.